This corner looks pretty good. A little rust here, and that's it.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
So we got Pops busting out the remaining seam sealer in the corner here. When I was laying down on the floor yesterday, I was looking up under these areas and realized I never cleaned any of this stuff out. Driver's side looks pretty good. Passenger side looks a little iffy. So we were thinking these areas would be okay because water can't really collect right here. But we're going to go ahead and clean some of this out and make sure everything's okay in here. This is the kind of stuff we're seeing. See, it's not terrible, right? Just a little bit of stuff, so we'll clean that up. Not a big deal. So anyway, yes, this is ASIC Eric. Welcome back to another episode of Camaro. Pop's busy at work there. Mike from the You Can Do It 2 channel asked a question yesterday about the primer and the HVLP gun and all that stuff, about using the HVLP gun to do small parts, and you know, about all the hassle of cleaning the gun and all that stuff. And that reminds me, as I was thinking about that I haven't seen a good video on cleaning these guns for us mortals that don't have a big gun cleaning apparatus. Like if you look for it, people say, here's how I clean my gun, and they have, you know, the big washing bin and all that stuff, which I don't have. So if anybody's interested in that, I'll make a video on that. Or if you know of a video on that, if you can post a link to that. I don't know if Matt or one of you other guys has a good video on how to do that with these kind of things, right? So the kind of things that we would have in our garage, as opposed to the big parts cleaner bins and all that stuff. So if you guys think that's interesting, let me know. I'll make a video on that. But back to Mike's question. If I'm doing structural parts of the car, big or small, I will usually use the epoxy on that with the HVLP gun. When I did stuff like this, like these little brackets, that I went ahead and I just used spray stuff for. Spray can. So I have some VHT epoxy spray-on stuff that works for this kind of stuff. So depending on what I'm doing, I'll use the HVLP. So rinky-dink parts, I'll use a spray gun, but for anything bigger, I'll use the 2K epoxy. Anyway, let me know what you think about that.
Work conditions.
All right, so we are sanding off the short strand fiberglass in here over all those spot welds that we talked about last time. We didn't go do any of this, as we said, just here. We test fit the tail lights. They look pretty good. This one's sticking up a little too high in this corner right here. This one over here, thank you, Darwin, looks really nice. This plastic trim sticks out too far right here. I don't know, when we get the new trim and stuff, we're getting new lenses for both sides. If I can adjust that and make that fit a little better, but you can see it fits real nice. The lines are good, at least by second gen standards. And you can see this is kind of tight here, and then it opens up down here. It's wide around all these areas, but I'm hoping the new gaskets fix that. We shall see. But yeah, every day starting to look more like a car. Very good, very good. And we got all the bottoms stripped, everything's cleaned out under there. So we get this on here, we'll put some lightweight filler over this. And then that back of the car there's ready for paint. And we just have a little bit more stuff to do, and we'll get it primed the next couple of days. Alright, there we go. We're gonna call that a day. So this came out pretty nice here. It's not perfectly level, but I think it's good enough for the purposes we have here. We finished stripping all of this stuff on the bottom here. Stripped all of this stuff up under here as best we could. I don't really know what I'm going to do up in these little areas here. I'm thinking I'm just going to take a Scotch-Brite and scuff it, because I don't really know what else I can do. I can't spray it. So I'm going to use that little wand that came with the internal frame coating. I'll shoot the rust encapsulator up in there probably. Just do that. I guess we've got all the seam sealer out. Let me show you that. or should I say most of the seam sealer. So I got this all cleaned out up here as best as we could. Got that about as far as we can get back there. There's no rust or anything showing up, so I'm just going to leave that the way it is in that corner right there. But everywhere we saw any traces of rust or anything, we cleaned it all out. And it's all good. So we'll finish cleaning this stuff up with sandpaper or whatever, just to get it ready for paint. We're not looking for this to look immaculate back here, because it's all going to get covered up with seam sealer again anyway. Which I guess is another question for you guys out there. If you know a good seam sealer of this kind, this big thick brushable stuff, I have the Fuser seam sealer, that blue stuff over there, that I use for smaller areas and stuff, but I think this big gooping stuff like they had at the factory, I'm guessing is a brushable seam sealer. If you guys have a favorite one you like to use for stuff like that, the Fuser I don't think is the right idea for that, but let me know if I'm wrong. And that's going to do it for today. I'm beat. 2 days of super hard work there, and we're toast. So next time all we've got to do is I'm going to go through and weld up all the holes here from the trim panel. Weld them because they're sloppy and not working well anyway. So we're going to weld all those up and then get the thing positioned exactly where we want, and then drill new holes. And then hopefully it'll stay in a good place there. All will be good. And then everything's ready for primer back here. So I'm going to prime the underside of the deck lid, all that stuff up in there, because we're going to be welding holes up and things like that. All the back here, the bottom, the brackets, the flip side of the filler fan, all this stuff. Get it all primed at once. So that'll be epic prime day. So as I was mentioned earlier in the video, if anybody's interested in seeing a video on how I clean the guns when I'm done, I'll go ahead and shoot that when I'm done with the painting here. I don't know if anybody cares about that or not, but I know I kind of had to figure it out for myself. So I'll be happy to do that if anybody wants to see that. Anyway, today's Friday, the 8th, 9th, something, I'm not even sure, of March. Everybody have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks.